call this meeting to order. It is 6:30. Roll call.
Christian,
Here.
Oster,
Here.
Jeske,
Here.
Souter, Bowles,
Here.
Whittington,
Here.
Holiday.
All rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Whittington,
I'll support it.
supported by Jeske. All those in favor with a raised right hand, aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Bowles. I'll support. Supported by Oster. All those in favor with a raised right hand, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Student and staff recognition.
All right, I have 8 students to recognize. This Saturday I had the pleasure of being down at Beaumont for about 3 hours of the 6-hour day. They did it also on Friday, but this weekend, Friday, Saturday, was the Stuff the Bus. And wanted to give a big shout out to Aiden and Abby Partinio, Madison Lottis, Emily Pendris, Madison Rankin, Aaron Underwood, Tyler Botson, and Chelsea Ensing. These 8 Rotary Interact students combined for a total of 16 volunteer hours on Saturday, working with other Rotarians to help with the Rotary Stuff the Bus event. They did a great job soliciting Walmart shoppers to help either donate cash or go in the store and purchase items off of a list that we supplied them with to make donations of school supplies to students in need for the county. And so we were collecting materials and school supplies for students at Houghton Lake, Cha, Raps, Our Lady of the Lake, and Core Area Day School. Thanks also to Karen and Transportation Department for supplying the bus. And I wouldn't have believed it unless I'd been there. The bus was literally full. Every single seat, above the backrest of the seat, full. Even the driver's seat was full, and so they had to remedy that before they could move the bus. So just wanted to give a big shout out to those 8 students for helping out, and also the whole community, just very, very generous, very supportive. It was really heartfelt to see how many folks were able to donate either cash or supplies. So it's really a good Saturday, and the weather was outstanding.
Thank you. Public comments? Alright, seeing none. Superintendent's report?
Alrighty, it's been a while since we had a meeting. I was trying to think, wow, a couple of weeks now, maybe 4, 3.5. So since we've last met, we had our 2 professional development days there right at the end of August, and our new teacher orientation. It was really exciting to welcome new novice teachers, but also new veteran teachers. We've hired some really, really amazing folks from all around the area and as far away as North Carolina, so that was really cool. And great feedback from folks at Open House. We had a great Open House turnout. We enrolled 15 new students during the actual Open House event, and there was a ton of energy, and from talking to everybody, it was one of the most well-attended in anyone's recent memory. So a lot of good vibes about Open House. Great start overall of the year, I would say. There were some hiccups with the initial day there at Collins with the parking lot, but by day 2, that was pretty well ironed out. There were little kinks getting worked out, but super great energy, a lot of positivity. Athletic teams are building good momentum as we move into the fall, and it's been many years since varsity football was starting 3-0, so that's super awesome. Talking about Collins, I'll dig into that a little more. The first day was exciting, but also full, and there's no other way to say it. That lot and the flow in the lot was just a mess. The reason, though, is we had triple the normal number of cars entering the parking lot to drop off their students as car riders, and so when I checked with Karen in Transportation, that meant we had buses that were half full or less than half full, riding the whole school district. So I think everyone was excited to see the new lot, maybe a little too excited, and we overflowed it. So couple that with the new Pick My Kid app, and we definitely had wait times of about 45 minutes or so at the longest to get kids picked up at the end of the day, which is quite a bit longer than normal. But by the end of the week, things were down to normal as far as time within a couple of minutes. But we still had 133 cars at the end of the week coming through, dropping off, when last year we averaged 90 to 100. So ridership is still up, but the flow is now really, really good, and I think it'll stay that way. ESSER projects update. Most of the summer work is completed, but there have been some delays with the poured rubber athletic floor that's going in the high school upper deck in the gym. We're working with a company to explore all options to expedite this process, but as soon as I wrote that sentence, they walked in with their trucks and began work. So they actually started working today because they were able to leave another job due to weather. So because of the forecasted rain, they were able to leave a prior commitment on an outside job and come here. So they actually worked today, prepping the floor, preparing to roll out the rubber padding. They will be working this evening. They will be working tomorrow, hopefully the rest of the week. So we're excited to get that done ASAP. Thanks to Tom and Amy for their flexibility as we operate with PE classes in the gym on the first floor, outside when the weather's nice, and still lifting weights in the pole barn. So I know we're all looking forward to getting the rubber floor in and all the new weight equipment set up. As far as ESSER, we're still waiting on the 2 new generators to arrive and 1 more expansion tank for one of the boiler systems. That's the last piece that needs to get installed so they can pressure test it. The goal is to have all the new heating fully operational and tested by the last week in September. And with this weather, that will be right on time. Quick mention about our upcoming election, November 7th. So on November 7th, we will be having an election to renew the Houghton Lake Community Schools operational millage. We will be asking voters to renew this millage for a period of 5 years. This millage is levied against non-homestead families and businesses. So homeowners, renters here are not going to be paying this millage. This is our non-homestead operational millage. We anticipate this will raise and generate approximately $9 million each year, and it represents the largest single piece of the total operating budget pie, followed by pupil enrollment. So $9 million is certainly, that's the bread and butter of the operating budget, and we've always had good luck renewing it, but the reason we're doing it in November when it expires next June is in the event we had an issue, we have 1 more shot at it in the spring. You never want to wait till the last effort and then find yourself scrambling. So excited to have that coming up. As we get closer to that, I'll be doing more messaging. I'll be speaking with the resorter and working with all of our staff to get the word out on the Go Vote effort. That is my update.
Finance report?
Very simple one. I think as Leanne and I were looking at that earlier, we really only have about an $8,000 variance in that 266 line item, which is safety and security. That $8,000 will be adjusted in the next budget amendment. That really is 2 things. It's the Pick My Kid app, which wasn't in the original security safety budget line item, and the CRG overhead mapping. Those are the security maps that we shared with the police department, fire department, EMS. So once we do the next budget amendment, that will be properly shifted into its spot, and that budget will be back in line.
All right, we're ready to move on to action items. Looking for a motion to approve Carter Crompton Inc.'s proposal to replace ceiling suspended retractable basketball hoop backstop in the junior senior high gym for $11,200 from the general fund.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Whittington.
I'll support it.
Supported by Jeske. Discussion?
Did you want me to share anything on that?
Sure.
So for those folks who didn't know, folks maybe in the community watching the video, we had a structural support pole actually break on one of the 2 main backboard support beam systems. It's almost 50 years old. It's been going up and down countless times, and it simply gave out. So the concern is we got lucky on that one. When one pole broke, the other was there to hold the weight of it so it didn't fall on the floor. But we certainly don't want a safety issue with any of those poles. So we're replacing, this quote replaces all of it, all of the poles, all the brackets, the pulley system, the cable, the motor, the whole new thing. So, we're taking care of the two main, backboards first. The other ones, if you look in the gym, there's a total of 6, there's 3 on each side. 4 fold up and down. Those are the auxiliary hoops. And they really just have a simple hinge, up, down, up, down. The main baskets actually fold awkwardly to the side. If you go in there and look, they actually have an offset bracket that brings them down to sit in the middle of the court. And they just carry the load a little differently, which is why I think that's the one that failed first. So the priority is to get those 2 done. I anticipate that sometime maybe later this year, as the budget's looking healthy, you might see another quote coming to do the other 4. The other 4 are also almost 50 years old, but I think they hinge better. We have gotten a quote to replace the motors on those for about $7,500, but I'm a little concerned that we may need to do more than the motors if we're gonna do it. We may need to do brackets, poles, and just really look at it all a little more closely. So that is why we're doing these 2 now. It's really a safety issue. We wanna make sure those are done in time for regular use by our PE classes and of course basketball season.
Okay, any questions? Seeing none, roll call?
Yes. Christian,
Yes.
Souter, Chesky,
Yes.
Whittington,
Yes.
Bowles,
Yes.
Holliday,
Yes.
Oster.
Yes. Motion carries 6-0. Discussion? Alright, seeing none. Look ahead at the board calendar and up and coming student events. Does anybody have any questions? Alright. None? We are adjourned. 6:42.
That rivals one of the fastest meetings. Nice work, everybody.